Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm sorry. This is Miss JJ, Private Friend Incorporated. Jacqueline Richardson, Deja. Miss JJ Diamond. Did I say that yet? I don't know. I'm a little late today doing my show, and I do apologize. I'm a woman of many hats when it comes to my businesses, when it comes to Private Friend Incorporated and Miss JJ Entertainment. So it's really hard for me to be doing so much at one time. And I'm still a mother, so it's really hard. That's why I'm trying to get my staff up so they can help me out with the marketing and different things, so I can do the stuff that I need to do to keep me going with my business. Today I had to do some marketing for Nedge Heights. He's going to be releasing his video Problem soon. It's finally complete, so we're just waiting for him to release it. And that's where we are right now. Nedge Heights is the secondary artist of Miss JJ Entertainment. Of course, I'm the first because I created the label, and I haven't been doing any music lately. I'll get back to it because I got so much. I'm telling y'all people, I have so much going on. It's unreal. Problems. I just jump from one job to the next, and it's just sometimes overwhelming, stressful, very stressful. But today, I want to talk about bullying. When I was a child, I was being bullied in elementary school. And I had to stand strong and fight back so I can survive. Because I was in the Bronx. I was in the Bronx, and I was new to the Bronx. I was 12 years old. This is right after my brother had passed away, got killed, and I had to go stay in the Bronx. And coming from that tragedy, and then turn around and go to school and be bullied, it was rough on me, you know. And these days, a lot of kids are being bullied, and you know, they commit suicide because they have so much on them. You know, I was lucky to have family over there. You know, shout out to Onika and Bernard. You know, and they put that oomph in me so I can fight back. You know, and they created a monster, y'all. However, I'm not a monster. I'm just playing. It's just that I don't take no crap from nobody. Because being bullied is not cool. I was bullied by boyfriends, and then I had to snap, you know, and act up, you know, in order for them to leave me alone, you know. And sometimes you don't want to snap, but they make you, you know, because they just won't stop, you know. And that's what's going on a lot with these kids today. You know, a lot of them are being bullied, and then they're going home telling their parents, and then their parents get afraid. You know, they don't want to get too involved because they're afraid of what can happen to them or their families. And it's understandable. I'm not judging nobody. You know, everybody deals with things differently. However, when it comes to mine, I'll fight to the death, you know. I guess that's why people call me crazy. It's okay. I'll take that. But, you know, I was looking at some posts and hearing some things, you know, at the schools. And, you know, that's one thing I love about Maryland. Once again, they were strong about bullying. That bullying policy was serious. And it's kind of serious here in Charlotte as well. I'll give a shout out to Charlotte. I haven't really dealt with the high school bully policy, but the elementary school bully policy here in Charlotte is serious. So I do give a shout out to you guys about the bully policy and the events that y'all had regarding bullying and violence. However, people, listen, if you are afraid to go fight for your children, okay, you can take these people to court, to stop messing with your children. You can change their schools. You can do whatever you need to do to keep your child happy. I mean, sometimes we're not in the predicament to move, to pick up and say, we're going to move from this area because my child is being bullied in the community. But there's other ways to get people to stop messing with your kids. Everybody's not a fighter, and you can't make them be a fighter, but you can't allow people to hurt your children. You just can't, And I realize that everybody's not a fighter, and they don't want to be running up on mothers like, let's get it because your child keep messing with my child, because that's the way I roll. I'll run up on a person in a minute. You messing with my babies, something that came up out of me that I created? I don't think so. So, as again, I'm a little different, a little crazy, but it's okay. But the point I'm trying to make, if you don't have that within you, and once again, I'm saying this, I'm not judging you because it's not for everybody, everybody's hasn't grown up in, say, the urban communities, so they're always around it, or been fighting a lot when they were kids. They're not used to that type of stuff. So this is where you can take it to the court system, okay, and make it stop for your children. These children wasn't asked to come here. And they shouldn't be bullied by nobody. I mean, they shouldn't be bullied by parents. They shouldn't be bullied by teachers. They shouldn't be bullied by children, their peers. No one should be bullied. That's like, I'm going to use this for instance. I was working at a job for over 6 years, and I had this one boss that always bullied me. And I had to snap. I was trying not to snap, y'all, because, that was the way I bring home my money. So, I was like, don't snap, don't snap, don't snap, don't snap, but I had to snap on him one time, like, yo, who you think you messing with? You can bully all them other ones, but you're not going to do it to me, and sometimes you just got to let people know where you stand, and that you're not afraid to speak up for yourself and your health and well-being, And the same with your children, I'm one that, something happened, because kids lie too, sometimes you got to find out all stories. I'm not one to just go in and saying, okay, I'm ready to fight. I'm not that type of mother, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Okay. First, I want to find out what happened. Tell me what happened. I want to hear your story, because what they say is always 3 stories. One person's story, the other person's story, and the truth. And sometimes you never get the truth. However, we have to sit down and analyze both sides and think about how you want to deal with it, And this is when a child is not physically harmed. Now, mentally can be bad as well, However, that physical, then that's when I might snap. That's when I'm going to go off. However, I'm one of those mothers that you can come and talk to, because I got some rough kids too, so if they did something wrong, I want to know what they did wrong so I can correct it, because that's the type of mother I am. I'm not the mother that I'm going to say, oh, my child ain't do this, my child ain't do that, because I would be a damn lie, because my children be doing a whole lot. And it's not things that I taught them, it's stuff that they learned on the street. However, I get to address it when I find out about it. However, then I talk to the parent and I say, okay, well, this is what's going down. I'm going to handle my end, you handle yours. We work together as a team to make sure that these kids stop fighting and, stay under control. However, if the other parent don't want to be that loving, kind mother that's willing to work together with you to make their child stop, you tell them once, you tell them twice. By the third time, I wouldn't knock you if you're ready to bust them upside their head. Okay? I wouldn't knock you if you went to the police, sent the police to the court system, and drew out some papers on them. Okay? People, as parents, we have to take responsibility for the actions that our kids commit. Now, sometimes you may be afraid as well. But sometimes if you approach the situation in a calm manner and talk to the parent, it can work itself out. Now, I've had several incidents where, like with my grandson, he was always the child that wanted to be in the community with all the kids, okay? And he was bullied a little bit. Every child gets a little bit bullied, but you got to know how to fight your battles and fight your own until they stop bullying you. And he was one of those kids that did that, However, there was times where I had to go talk to the parents, and both kids be acting up. And they be so thankful to see me, and I be so thankful to see them. And we work together, well, you watch them this day and these times, and I got them this time because I don't have to work on this time, and we work together to keep these kids from hurting themselves and killing themselves, because kids kill whether y'all know it or not. There's a lot of kid killers out here, and you have to watch that. This is why when I have all my kids, Private Friend Incorporated, and I have my kids all together, I watch them all. Now, I have a set of girls that just keep acting up. They keep going at it, and they know not to do it when I'm around, because when I'm around, I'm going to check them both. Y'all both stop, However, when they get in the street, there's other issues, and then I don't see it, so I can't take sides. You got one crying over here, the other one crying over there. You don't know what's going on. And people, you got to remember, these kids are human beings. You can't force them to play with other kids because they have personalities. So everybody's personality is different, and sometimes even with adults, your personalities clash. And when personalities clash, that you have to, separate yourself from these people, to keep peace. This is all about peace and the kids being unharmed. Now, when there's a child that's putting his hands physically on someone, that's when the real problems set in. My daughter came home one day and told me she was having some issues on the bus. She got a big, heavy, hard hand, so I wasn't too worried because she knows how to protect her own. And I always tell her, never be afraid to protect yourself. So, if somebody hits you, you let your teacher know. And if your teacher don't do nothing about it, you knock them one. Yeah, I'm one of those mamas. I'm sorry, y'all. And let mommy deal with the consequences. If your children don't learn how to keep their hands to themselves, when you teach your child, do not hit. You teach this to your children from little. And some kids may have a small little issue where they want to hit all the time, And when these kids have these issues, they have to be addressed. And some people don't address the issue with their children. Now, I understand people that, y'all be feeling like ain't nothing wrong with your children. And ain't nothing wrong with my child. My child don't have this disability or that disability or, compulsive, whatever is going on with that child. They be so, I forget the word. But anyway, I was one of them parents that, I was like that too. You can't tell me my child has this and that. But then I had to sit down and think about it. But why you keep doing this? That ain't normal. Why you keep doing that? That ain't normal. But what's going to happen is your child is going to get into so much problems and trouble that you ain't going to be able to handle it mentally or physically. Okay? Or you're going to be in so much drama, you're going to wind up taking a depression pill because you can't deal with it no longer. So, people, when people are telling you or you're seeing that your child is having a difficult time dealing with their peers and other children, address it early. Because if you don't address it, it's going to get worse. You know, sometimes even when you address it, it still gets worse. So I'm saying that people don't sit back saying, you know, your child didn't do this and your child, you don't know what your child do when your child is not in front of you, because children pick up stuff from other people. You know, my daughter came in the house since we moved to Charlotte. Lord Jesus, you know I'm calling on him. You know, I'm a strong believer in God, y'all. And I do a lot of praying because I like peace. But she comes home with some things that I be like, I didn't teach you this. The same thing with this 14-year-old. 15, I'm sorry, he's 15. Oh my God. He just comes home with stuff and I be like, oh, where did you learn this from? Stay out of these people's homes. You wasn't raised like this. You know, why are you doing this? You know? But they don't get it. They think you just mean. You know, they think, you know, oh, you just mean or you old-fashioned and, you know. No. Everybody lives different. And when your kids go out and be around other people, they learn bad habits. So with that being said, as you see them bad habits, you need to address them ASAP. Now, if they come at home with good habits, you might want to, you know, implement it into your life. But if they come in home with bad habits, you need to nip it in the bud ASAP. Because all it's going to do is bring problems to you and your home. Like my 15-year-old. Oh, this kid, he's a piece of work, y'all. I mean, he keeps me busy. You hear me? He believes that I'm too old-fashioned because I won't let him smoke in my house. You shouldn't be smoking anyway. So I'm not going to say it's okay for you to smoke in my house. We had to have a big drawn-out fight about it. Well, other parents do it. I'm not other parents. I was raised a certain way, and I'm going to raise you a certain way. And if you don't like it, you can go to the system and leave me alone. And that's how we'll deal with that. Then you won't be able to smoke at all because they're going to lock you up. You know, he done got to the point he's just like I don't get it. But the point that I'm trying to make is y'all have to nip it in the bud, people, because at the end of the day, anything that them kids do is going to fall back on you. Anything that them kids get caught up in is going to fall back on you. I get so tired of the courtroom. You hear me? But see, my 15-year-old now, he's at the age where I can't handle him, but in a certain way. And I can't control him by keeping him in the house or whatever the case may be. So I live in the courtrooms. Well, people, if this is the life that y'all want to live, then don't address the issues early. Okay? And I've been addressed his issues since he was 3. And sometimes it does get worse. You know? And when it gets worse, you have to get the help that's needed. If they're bullying, if they are out here committing crimes, fighting, whatever the case may be, try to address it early so they know you mean business. Because all the drama that they cause comes back to you in your life. So you have to find a way, whether it be fight back or use the court system to fight back, to make sure that your life stay at peace. Okay? I just hate this bullying thing is really getting out of hand. I mean, people are being bullied everywhere. And, domestic violence is part of bullying. When a mate, and I'm not going to say a man, I'm going to say a mate, because you got women that's just as bad, bullying they men, so I'm not going to sit here and just say men. It used to be that men was doing most of domestic violence until we found out about these crazy women that be beating on their men and mistreating their men and not feeding them and not feeding the family and just doing all kind of stuff, so it's not just the men, y'all, it's women too. But I say this to say, if you're in a situation that you can't handle because you're being mentally or physically abused, people get out. Find a way to get out. I almost been killed a couple of times dealing with men that just don't care about what they was doing to me, and I had to get out. I had to get out the relationship. Sometimes I had to leave the state just to cool down for a little while. And I even had to possess a gun a couple of times to protect myself. Because these people are crazy. Let me tell you something, people. You have to, when you meet these people, these new people, you got to give them an application. Find out about their background. Find out about their father, mother background. Find out everything. Because you just don't know what they got in them. Because sometimes that DNA be rotten, and things that a person wouldn't do, a normal person wouldn't do to you, these people would. So you got to be careful of these people that you just picking up randomly, because you just never know, And I know, it's hard for people to meet others, you want a relationship, and a shout out to all the single people out there, That's what I'm thankful. I've been in my relationship, December 31st of this year, be 13 years, and I'm blessed. He gets on my nerves. I love him, and I know I'm safe with him. However, you could go out here and meet a nut, and you be like, Lord Jesus, well, how did this happen? All because you wanted some company or wanted somebody new, and next thing you know, they busting you upside your head, or they trying to kill you, or punching you in the eye, or they pulling a gun out on you. You can't have a real relationship because they crazy. They bullying you around, trying to take your money. These are the things that these people do, and you got to remember, you got these people around your children. It's crazy, how we don't think what we're putting not only ourselves into, but our children as well, and sometimes these mates come in our lives and they bully our kids, they bully us, and you say to yourself, like, who is this person? Where did they come from? I mean, they sick, it's a lot of sick people out here. I run into them every day. I live around them. It's a lot of them. I got a lot of them in my own family. Okay, you have to watch out who you dealing with. Bullying, domestic violence it's wrong, people. You're not supposed to put your hands on other people. You're just not. You're not supposed to abuse people mentally. You're not supposed to do it. Let me tell y'all something. Karma is bad. And when you put out that bad energy comes back. And it may not only come back to you, it may come back to your children. It may come back to your mother, your father. So when you out here doing wrong to people, remember that you got a family, you have a life, and it can come right back to them as well. And you have kids, you out here mistreating somebody's mother, and you got a daughter, it could come right back. So y'all need to think about that. That negative energy that y'all put up in the universe, it comes right back. You want positive energy to come back to you. good energy, loving energy. You know, that's what you want to come back to you. You know, people be always saying, why is this stuff happening to me? You know, when they going through so much. The reason why it's happening is because you ain't paying attention to what you doing. You know, you can't do good on this side and then do bad on this side, people. You know, I had an incident the other day. I'm going to tell y'all about it. Where someone, I'm not going to name names. You know, I never do that. I never put people out there. I just tell a story. And y'all, when y'all get to know me a little bit more, y'all will see that. But what this person did was, they did something bad to one of my family members. And they tried to do something good for me. Okay? And I mean, personally, I see why they did it, but they don't realize that all they did was stir up their karma, because you can't do something bad and try to fix it with something good. It don't work that way. Okay? You have to always do good, or good in heart. And if you did something wrong, apologize, you know, to that person, saying, you know what, if I did this, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't know that I was doing this wrong. You know, you can't cover up bad with good. Put it like that. You know, it don't work that way. You know, you got to be good from Jump Street. You know, or that chapter starts all over. You know, so you have to start a whole new chapter. You know, in order to revise the stuff that you've done wrong. You know, God is always watching. The universe is everywhere, and energy comes from everywhere. You know, so y'all need to recognize that the way you treat somebody else, it's gonna come back, and it may come back a way that you don't want it to. Because you never know how it's going to come back. You know, see, I always, when people do bad stuff to me, I always say this. This is one of my quotes. Let me get the popcorn and sit back. Okay? Meaning, now I'm going to watch the movie. Because they done did something wrong. They done mistreated me. So now I'm going to get my popcorn and I'm going to sit back and watch the movie and wait. And most of the time I get to see it. Most of the time I get to see them go through some issues, major issues, because they done did something wrong to me. You know, so, you know, I say that to say, you know, watch what y'all do to people and try to teach y'all children the same thing. You know, like, you know, I was talking to my daughter the other day. You know, she had an incident where she has one friend. They was together all summer long. You know, they spent every single day. You would think they were sisters. That's how much time they spent. And then that same friend introduced us to some other friends. So she started hanging out with these other friends, and they was pushing the other friend away. And it wasn't fair. You know, it just wasn't fair. And I had to explain to her, you know, I don't have a problem with telling my children right from wrong, you know. And I analyzed the situation, and I said, well, you know what? You've been with this girl all summer long, and here they come, you know. Not saying you shouldn't be friends with them, but when your friend is asking you, please play with me and be with me, you should take that into consideration. Because guess what? When them friends are going away and all you have is that one friend, and that friend do it to you or another friend, it could happen with some other friends, you're going to be sad. So do what's right. And that's what I told her. Do what's right. And it took her a few minutes, but she figured it out. And she said, Mommy, you're right. And as simple as that, people. Just be honest with your children, what they're doing wrong. You know, if your child is out bullying, talk to them. Why are you bullying? Would you like somebody to come bully me? Would you like somebody bigger than you to come bully you? Or hurt you? And I'm the reason why I'm going back and forth, people, if y'all getting a little confused, because I'm talking for the parents that kids are being bullied or people that's being bullied, and for the people that's doing the bullying. Okay? You have to look at both sides, and be in the shoes of both sides. Children don't know something unless you teach them. Granted, sometimes it's hard to teach some of them, but if you, what's that word? A repeated cycle. If you have a repeated cycle going on in your home, just like when the kids come to visit me, they know they must address me if they're going to be in my company. Okay? And the reason why I do that is because when you're in my company, I have to make sure that you're safe at all times. Okay? Anything can happen. A fire could break out. And if I don't know you in my home, all I'm thinking about is, say, me and my daughter, I'm jumping out the window, and that's that. You know what I mean? And I'm going to leave you behind because I don't know you in my home. So they all know that when you come in my home or my office or whatever the case may be, you need to let me know that you're in my area. Anything can happen, not just a fire, but I'm just using that as an example. I need to know you're there because you're accounted for when you're in my company. If I don't know that you're there, I can't see you. I don't know who you are. I can leave you behind. So I constantly tell, like my grandson, I constantly tell him, you bring your friends over, I need to know who they are. I need to know their parents. I need to have their parents' numbers. If I don't have their parents' numbers or know where they live or whatever the case may be, they are not allowed in my company. And the reason being is because if something happens to them, how am I going to call and let their parent know that something happened? They could have ate something in the street, get at my house, and fall out sick, throwing up or whatever, or fall out. If I don't know your name, I don't know your parent, how am I supposed to let someone know who you are, even to get you help? Because when the doctors come, the ambulance come, they're going to say, well, who is this person? Do you know if they have any allergy? I don't know. I don't even know the person. I don't know the mother. I don't know. No, I cannot live with something like that, people. So that's one thing that I do. And I notice here in Charlotte that these kids, they just go to people's houses and, they don't know, they don't let the parent or the adult in the house know that they exist. And I blame the parents. I don't blame the kids. Because if we had more parents asking that question, the kids wouldn't act like it's new to them. If my kid came in your house, you need to have my telephone number. Because if I find out that my kid got sick at your house, you got drama with me. And you didn't contact me, or you're going to have drama with me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they shouldn't have been in your house. Without me knowing. Or without you being able to contact me. So people, y'all got to get it together. These parents is lacking a whole lot. I'm seeing some things, people. I'm seeing some things out here, and I don't like it. And it's not because I'm from the old school. It's because I love the kids. You know what I mean? I love the kids and want to make sure that the kids stay safe and don't get hurt. I fight for the youth. What's the name of my show? How we save the youth of tomorrow. So every time I address something on my show, it's because it's going to save some of these kids of tomorrow, the ones that's coming up right now, we have to help them. We have to teach them. Because if nobody teaches them, they're all going to be a lost cause. And that's not what we want. We don't want a bunch of children that don't have no common sense or respect to run our country. You got to remember, these are the same kids in 10, 20 years. They're going to be running our country. And you're going to be older while they're running our country. So if we don't teach them now, how are we going to allow them to run our country? By then it's going to be too late. So we have to teach these children. Every child that come past you and is in your area, you should be teaching them something with kindness and love. So that way they can remember and keep that within their soul. You know, their parents may not be teaching it to them, but they got it from somewhere. And this is what we need to teach all our children everywhere, all around the world. Not just here in Charlotte, not just in Maryland, everywhere. We got to continue to teach. If we teach, the older they get, the better they'll get. You know, sometimes I got to act like a monster. I go off on these kids. And they be like, ooh, she crazy. It's okay for them to think you're a little crazy sometimes. But they need to learn the right and wrong way to do things. They have to learn. And if they're not learning it in school, and they're not learning on the street, as a parent, you're supposed to teach them. So I'm challenging all of these parents out here that other children come into their company to show these kids that come in your company respect, love, and teach them something. You know, love, giving back. Like I teach mines, I love them all, but they know about giving back. They know about helping each other. And when I say, I'm not just talking about my kids, I'm talking about all the kids I deal with every single day. Because y'all got to remember, I run a nonprofit, so I deal with these kids, you know, and they come, you know, and sometimes I have some new ones, and, you know, some of them, they be well-mannered, and some of them don't, you know. But it don't matter. Because I'm going to teach them. If your mother said it's okay for you to be in my company, I'm going to teach you. You know, like I have a lake in back of my house, you know, and they all love to go by that water. And, you know, sometimes I don't even know the kid, and I don't even care. I'll tell them, get your by that water. They look at me like, who are you? Don't worry about who I am. I'm saving your life. Get away from the water. Don't make me have to come down. And where your mama? And that's what I tell them. And they look at me. And then I'll be like, they move away from the water. I don't want to have to witness you drowning. I just don't. I don't think I could live with that. So I tell them, get away from the water. You know, was it yesterday, the day before yesterday, one of the boys, his foot fell in the water. Get away from the water. That's for the ducks. They know how to swim. And not only am I worried about you not being able to swim, the water is dirty. It's a lake. It's not running water. It's not like the streams. You know, streams is running water, so it's a lot cleaner than standing water, you know. This is where all the ducks live at. You know, so you don't want to get caught up in that water. Next thing you know, you got some stuff growing off you because you fell in the lake. You know, so people, I challenge y'all to address certain issues with these children as you see it. You know, it takes a village to raise children. You know, and like right now, I live in a village, Definitely it's a village. And there's a lot of children that come through here. And, you know, we work with all of them. We work together, you know, to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do. Sometimes it becomes real stressful and hard, but some of them can't be saved. You know, what was that saying? That saying that they say, some of them don't want to be saved. So if they don't want to be saved, you can't save them. However, you try. You know, you try, and if they don't want to be saved, you'll see it. You'll say to yourself, "Oh, that one don't want to be saved. That one just rotten." But we want to try to save as many of these kids as we can. You know, these kids are becoming drug addicts younger, criminals younger. They just doing all kind of things younger. You know, when I was a kid and a teenager, I was having fun. I mean, I was doing some adult stuff too, but it wasn't as bad as some of these kids, you know. So I say that to say, you know, people, we gotta stop these kids from bullying. We gotta stop these kids from getting bullied. We gotta stop these kids from getting hurt. You know, we gotta continue to teach. This is Miss JJ Diamond, Private Friend Incorporated. And I'm signing off. Y'all all have a wonderful day, blessed day, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.